Hello and welcome to the 20 for 21 Yoga and Mindfulness Challenge. So excited that you're here, you're joining me on this challenge. And yes, you are joining me because I'm also challenging myself to get on my mat 21 days, every single day, to show up for myself. And we're in this together. I'm really excited. It's going to be really fun. And so I want to talk a little bit in our introduction today, in the day before we get started. I wanted to talk a little bit about why I want to do this challenge and go over a bit of details for the 21-day challenge. So it came to me one day that, I was kind of thinking heavily about everything that's going on in the world and how we were at the time headed into a lockdown again, and I felt the heaviness, the heavy energy in the world, and I felt like, it came to me one day, I just felt you have the tools and you need to share them. So it was something I just really wanted to do, really wanted to gift the world at a time when it's needed, at a time when, maybe our emotions are feeling a bit on a roller coaster. One day we feel good and the next day we feel blah, maybe we're, stressed. Maybe anxiety is coming up, all these different things, and we need to have tools to navigate through them. And so with the challenges I've experienced throughout my life, the thing that really has kept me on the path to healing and to feeling good and to bringing in more peace into my life, that one thing is consistently getting on my mat, creating a space, a safe space to come back to, that I can navigate, that I can use the tools, and that I can help myself to feel more peace, to become more mindful, more aware of my emotions. So when they come up, when they arise, I'm able to process and let them go better, move through them a little bit better. So this is exactly why I wanted to do this challenge. I wanted to challenge people to get themselves in that space 21 days in a row, to show up every single day, even though it's hard, kind of knowing collectively we're here together. We are doing this together, even though we're not in the same space, but we are all energetically in the same space as we're doing the same challenge together. And this, I felt, would help hold us all up and support us. And every single day you will receive, I will be sending it probably, my hope's around midnight, just after midnight Eastern time, every single day that you'll receive an email which will inspire you. It will have a little bit of inspiration in it, and it will have the link to the day's class. So that will hopefully get you inspired. Because one thing is, and why it's a challenge, is it is going to be difficult to get on your mat every single day. Things come up, excuses pop up, life happens, but it's that consistency in your practice that really helps you to manage and to navigate through tough times. It's that consistency. I remember before, when I first started with spiritual practice, I would lose my way quite often. And so then I would wonder, why am I feeling so lost or so out of balance? And then it would suddenly hit me, I haven't been on my mat in a while. I haven't been to that safe space that I create for myself for a while. And sure enough, I would get back to it and I would stick to it for a bit, and what an incredible difference it would make. I'd feel it spill over into my life. So getting on your mat every day fills your own cup so it can overflow and then spill joy into the world, to others. And it just helps us so much to cultivate peace, so create more peace in our lives. And it helps us to make more space for peace in our lives. So we create more space when we come on our mats. And 20-minute practices are doable. I know they're not all exactly 20 minutes. Some of them, they're between 20 and 30. Most are closer to 20, but it is doable because it's a short time, it's a short commitment to yourself, and it's more doable that way. It's easier to see, like, okay, I can carve out 20 minutes a day, no problem. I can make this work. And committing to yourself, and this is so good. So thank yourself for showing up, for pressing play, and encourage yourself every day when you see that email come through. Dedicate some time for yourself to do the practice. Make sure you don't just set it aside and, oh, I'll get to it later. Like, set a time in your day. Make sure you dedicate that time for yourself and keep returning every single day. And I'm gonna have a nice big bonus feature at the end of the 21 days. So if you hang in there, you're gonna get some pretty cool bonuses. I want you to think about also, so challenge yourself to show up every day. Think about what type of benefits you're gonna get from showing up every single day. Perhaps you're gonna feel more peaceful in your day. You're gonna better be able to manage your emotions. You will physically feel better in your body. I am a registered massage therapist. I've been for over 14 years, and I do work with the body quite a bit. I know a lot about the anatomy. So when I do teach, I tend to really focus on different parts of the body. So every practice will complement the body in a different way. So physically, you'll feel better. Emotionally, you'll feel better. And I think you'll really start to feel that mind-body connection coming in. So you'll feel that connection. So start to think about all the benefits that will come from this. From coming to your mat every single day, and welcome those benefits. And I want you to also feel worthy of receiving those benefits. So one thing we do often is we block, we resist, we don't allow good things to come in. We do this, it's our subconscious mind. We don't intentionally do it, but it happens. So I want you to say to yourself, once you've thought of all the benefits that could come from this, practicing coming to your mat every single day, I want you to say to yourself, I am worthy of receiving all the good that comes from this challenge. I'm worthy of receiving it. And I want you to say it with confidence, with belief, because you are worthy. So taking that time to just maybe sit in stillness for a little bit before you get started, and just be open to receiving all that goodness, all the goodness that will come of this, from this challenge. Just be open to receiving, and that will help too to keep you inspired to keep returning to your mat. And I want you to hold a space of compassion throughout this. So holding a space of compassion for yourself. What does this look like? It means not being hard on yourself, so loving yourself through it. So knowing that since we're coming to our mat every single day, you will notice one day to the next, you will notice changes in your body. You will notice some days you're a little more tense, some days you're not, some days you can balance a little better, and some days you can't. So I want you to hold a space of compassion and understanding. This is so important when we practice yoga. It is extremely important to hold that space so that we understand and love ourselves through the practice. Practicing coming to our mat, it is a huge growth experience. So we grow spiritually in such a way, but we need to hold compassion and understand that some days we aren't going to show up 100%, and that's okay. So just holding that space for yourself. And you will, as you practice, as you get on your mat, you will start to unravel this beauty that exists within yourself. And so being open to that and loving yourself through that whole experience, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whatever comes up for you, just love yourself through it. Because sometimes when we start to turn inward and we start to do these practices and become more aware and more mindful, sometimes what happens is we start to peel layers away, And these are old layers, and there's things maybe that have settled in energetically in our space. And these things may start to open up again. And it's when we are aware of them and we meet them with compassion and love that we're able to process through them a lot easier. So being open, loving, and compassionate with yourself, and don't be hard on yourself, because sometimes people can be. They can say, I started this practice and now I don't feel good. Well, just know that not feeling good isn't from the practice. It's actually old energetic stuff that's stuck in your energy field. So just know that sometimes that has to surface a little bit, and you may feel a little bit of that residual emotional unrest, but that the more you stick with this and the more you hold compassion for yourself and love yourself through it, the easier it is to let go. And I can tell you from my personal experience in my healing journey that those moments that those feelings come up for me, and I don't know where they came from, but I'm just trusting that they need to come up and they need to release. The more I allow that to happen, the more layers I release, the more beautiful my life becomes. The less I react in a negative way in certain situations, and the more I'm open to seeing and experiencing all the love and goodness that's out there. So hang in there if stuff does come up. Just love yourself through it. Accept it. Allow yourself to go through it. Maybe take a moment, get on your mat, close your eyes. Or, just come to a space that feels comfortable, come to stillness for a moment, and just let yourself be. Let the emotions come up and love yourself through them. Maybe you can, even place a hand on your heart just to remind yourself you're here to support yourself and love yourself through this. And you can always reach out to someone for support too and love. Just at times like this, it's nice sometimes just to connect, right? Just to even pick up the phone and say hello to someone. You don't even maybe have to talk about what's going on or what's coming up for you, but just to connect sometimes feels really nice. And so you're going to do what you can through this practice. So through the 21 days, you're going to do what you can. So I will obviously be modeling different poses and things like that. And I want you to know that wherever you are at in your practice and wherever you're at physically, you can make this work. So even if you stayed on your mat every single day, 21 days, you stayed seated, or you lied down the entire practice every single day and just listened to the words, listened to my voice, listened to the cues, and just breathe, you will receive so many benefits. So just know that there's no pressure whatsoever. No pressure. So coming to your mat, and you do what you can. And if you find that you need to practice in a chair, you could be seated in a chair and just doing the arm movements perhaps, maybe just flowing through in a seated position and just incorporating the upper body movements. Just doing what works for you. What feels right for you is what's best. So trusting that you're here and you're doing what works for you. So you're going to adjust and you're going to modify postures and whatever that means for you. So you'll often hear me say when I teach, I'll say your version of downward dog. And we do at times come to downward dog often in our practice, and for some people that can be difficult. So if it doesn't feel good to you to be in downward dog, take it down to tabletop or child's pose or whatever feels right to you in the moment. So just listening to your body. And if you need to take a break and just lie down for part of the practice, that's okay. Just stick with it. Even if you're not doing everything, it's totally okay. You are still doing yoga if you're breathing properly. And I guide you through every practice to get you in sync with breath. Every practice starts with a breath grounding meditation just to get you into the moment and on your mat. And you'll notice as the days progress, as we move through our practices, the first ones, we spend a little more time getting grounded. And then you may notice the transition to getting on your mat comes a little more naturally. So then those periods start to shorten up, and maybe sometimes we start our practice in a standing position. And so you'll notice that as the days go on, there is some growth and some learning in the process. So you'll notice changes in the way that we come to our mat and things like that. And at the end of the practices, when we get into our relaxation posture, Shavasana, I will leave you there at the end. So I don't get you up, because we do only have, about 20 minutes to practice every day. I leave you there. That way you can customize. So if you want to continue your practice in a certain way, or if you do want to get up, it's totally your choice. So just really checking in with yourself and feeling what feels right for you to do in the moment. Okay, and then practicing with intention. So I'm very big on everything we do, we try to do it with awareness and intention. And so you'll notice tomorrow, when you get tomorrow's video, it is a breath meditation and a flow and an intention setting. So you can start now to really think about what it is you would like to get out of this 21 days, our time together. So you can start to think about setting an intention. I like to do that whenever I set out to do any sort of challenge or even any yoga practice. I like to do it with intention and purpose. And I find it's that much more effective if I do set intention, and it keeps my energy focused more on the good outcome that I wish to receive from it. Or even if you wish to dedicate a practice to someone else or to a situation, it just directs the energy there. So very, very effective when we're practicing. And I want you to make sure that you celebrate every single day that you show up. That way, you're loving yourself through this process, and you're finding that the effect of showing up every day is you're congratulating yourself. So it becomes like an internal reward system, which is actually a really healthy way to be, is to find gratitude in yourself for showing up. So do that. Celebrate every single day that you show up. When you get, maybe at the end of your practice, you get off your mat, you give yourself a little pat on the back and a little love. Thank you for showing up. You did it. You did it another day. Another day. Even though it was hard, I got on my mat another day. So very, very important. Okay. And just like I said, just knowing that you deserve to feel good. Just keep reminding yourself. If you start to slip off track, just remind yourself, I deserve to feel good. I deserve this time, this short time out of my day, every single day. I deserve it. It's all for me. And so we're practicing together as a community. There's quite a few of us practicing together. Share this information. Share these classes. They will all be public on YouTube. I will be releasing them one day at a time, but they'll all be out there. But share this information with people. And another thing you can do that would be really helpful to get this information and this knowledge out to people is when you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, to Leigh Ann Mastronardi Yoga. And every time you watch a video, if you could like it and maybe comment, like say, it doesn't even have to be much, just say, great practice today, like comment on yourself, just whatever comes up for you, because that helps these videos to get out there and get seen more, is when people comment on them and people like them and people subscribe to the channel. It's kind of like a way to get things more seen, more visible, and so we can get these free classes out to as many people as we can, because so many people need them right now. So if you could do that, that would be great. And finally, the most important thing that we need to do is we need to find deep gratitude for this ancient art of yoga the ancient art of yoga and mindfulness and meditation, we need to take a moment to thank all of those that came before us, the many, many centuries of practice that people have been coming to their mat to create this beautiful art that we now share that helps so many people around the world, around the globe, for centuries and centuries to feel good, to, contrast their life. So if we have busy lives, or if we deal with stress, it's a place that we can come home to. And it wouldn't be here if it weren't for those beautiful people that created this beautiful art. So taking some time to find deep gratitude for the ancient art, for the people that created this beautiful ancient art, and for all those people practicing all over the world and teaching and spreading the good word to help others. There's so many people out there right now that are getting out there and sharing their gifts with the world. So lots of gratitude needs to be sent back out their way. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for allowing me to share my gift, my love for yoga and mindfulness. Thank you for allowing me to share it with the world. Thank you for being a part of this. I'm very excited. And one more thing. Just in case, I just wanted to go over what you'll need for the 21-day practice. You will need either a yoga mat or a blanket. You'll need to dress comfortably. So dress nice and comfortably. And you really don't need anything else, but I have suggestions that you can use, things that you can use if you'd like to enhance your practice a bit. There are some restorative practices in this challenge, so I would recommend that you have a blanket or blankets available for those restorative practices. And you can use things like, I have yoga bolster. Not everyone has a yoga bolster, but these are really good for restorative practices or for your shavasana. But if you don't have a yoga bolster, you can use a regular bed pillow. So regular bed pillows make great, bolsters. So you can use those. And there's also yoga blocks. But if you don't have yoga blocks, a stack of books or a really thick book works as well. And blocks are really good for slipping them in beneath your hand if it can't reach the floor, just as a little added little prop to make your practice a little more comfortable. Because it's important that you feel comfortable in your practice, that you don't overstretch or push yourself too hard. So listening to your body and using any props you need. Chair, you can use a chair. Some people like to hold on to a chair while they're in a balance pose just to keep themselves more comfortable in that balance pose. And then in the future, as you practice more, you may not need the chair, but for now, by all means, use the chair. I strongly encourage it. And when we were in studio, it always filled my heart when I saw people using props, because I know, sometimes there's sort of a stigma around yoga and the need to be super flexible or balanced. But I have to tell you, even people that practice yoga for years, it's a practice for this reason. Some days you just can't balance and you need a little help, and there is absolutely no shame in that. Yoga is for everyone, and so you use whatever props you need. Another item that people like for restorative yoga is an eye pillow, but if you don't have an eye pillow, you can even use a washcloth and just a dry washcloth and just lie it over your eyes. So many options for props, but I recommend, especially if we're doing like a slow, stretchy, restorative class, have lots of props, lots of blankets and pillows, couch pillows, whatever you feel will work for you. So again, I'm super excited. I'm super grateful. I won't keep you for one more minute. I kept you long enough here listening to me talk. Super excited to get started tomorrow. I'm sending you all so much love and support for these next days, for this challenge, for over the next 21 or so days as we move through these practices. I am holding a space of love, gratitude, compassion, peace, all the good stuff for you. So just know that. From my heart to yours, namaste.